This podcast is brought to you by Body Armor. DrinkBodyArmor.com. Only you can be better.
Hello, I'm Baker Mayfield.
I'm Anthony Russo.
I'm Donovan Mitchell.
I'm Diana Taurasi.
I'm Ryan Blaney.
And I have something to confess.
I had a formidable Beanie Baby collection.
I used to say YOLO a lot.
I paid a lot of money for ringtones.
I had a sick flowing mullet one time.
My Cabbage Patch Kid's name was Dolores.
I used to rock bleached tips.
I used to rank my friends on MySpace.
I rented movies at Blockbuster.
I used to wear jorts. That's right, jean shorts.
I used to drink Gatorade.
Yeah, I used to drink Gatorade.
We all used to drink it.
It was the only sports drink out there.
Now there's Body Armor.
I drink Body Armor now.
I drink Body Armor now.
I'm Team Body Armor now.
You're listening to EPPN's Today with DW Sports Edition with DW, Mr. Tom Greer, and Snaps.
Welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday night edition of the Today with DW Sports Edition with Mr. Tom Greer.
Hello, hello.
Snacks.
Yep, here we go about baseball.
Snacks is just here just to fill up the screen. He probably won't be talking at all tonight. Oh, boy. But anyway, it is the day before training camp. Pitchers and
yes, sir.
We'll be doing this tomorrow. So we give Tom a lot of crap throughout the year so far with the sports edition. We didn't really want to talk baseball because neither one of us really cares for baseball, but I'm like, you know what? Today should be all Tom Greer Day. So it is. So officially now, the day before spring training is National Tom Greer Day. So
I'm with it.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So today is going to be pretty much an all baseball episode. So Hank, grab some snacks, just sit back and enjoy. Count your toys, count your pop.
You're going to go throw out my comics.
It's the greatest sport in the world.
That's one man's opinion. Sure.
Yeah. Well, that's many men's opinions, but
Yeah. It is not. Sadly, it is not America's sport anymore. We kind of know that, but it is what it is.
I mean,
I know. We've talked about it.
Football, because baseball is because you see, baseball decided, it was going to come from America, but it was going to be worldly. They're playing this game all over the world. Not many people play football all around the world.
Oh, they play in Europe.
It's actually growing in all over the world.
It's growing. Baseball grew. Baseball grew and is continuing to grow.
You know why they're playing all over the world? Because nobody watches them here.
Well, no, baseball's doing pretty well.
With you.
It's so that when they can't play here, we can watch Korean baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're totally kidding.
Exactly.
Kidding. So we'll be going through some stuff. But before we start the show, what's going on, Sean? How are you? Thanks for joining us. If you're listening to the audio version, we're talking to our fans and watchers that are on our live feed. So definitely check us out over on Facebook at Today with DW Show podcast page, so you can join in on the conversation. Oh, somebody's echoing. Who is that? Is that you, Hank?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay. So Tom, you are the baseball. You are Mr. Baseball on this show. Obviously, we all have our own little sports that we all enjoy. For you as a kid, though, do you have? I mean, when was it that you really started? Because I'll tell you, I used to be a huge baseball fan. I used to be a huge Yankees fan. WPIX Channel 11. When that was on, I just watch every game. I don't know what happened. I think maybe girls got involved. I don't know, but I just stopped watching baseball, and I'm not sure why. I don't know. It might even be the transition when Jordan came from North Carolina to the big leagues, that I just kind of stopped and focused all my energy into basketball. So I'm not really sure, but back in the day, I do remember WPIX, Yankees baseball, trying to stay up when they're playing the night games, and I'm falling asleep, and I'm like, no, I got to stay up. It's the ninth inning. I got to stay up. And remember laying on the floor, just watching in awe of just whoever was playing at that time. I mean, Reggie Jackson, whoever at that time. But so for
I was actually a huge Thurman Munson fan.
Oh my God, Thurman Munson.
Everybody was a Thurman Munson fan.
One of my friend's dog was named Thurman Munson. So
not a surprise.
Cool. But for Tom, for you as a kid, I mean, was it right out of the womb? I mean, what
basically, I grew up loving baseball. Like my dad played baseball. My grandpa loved baseball. Like my grandpa was a Giants fan and my grandma was a Dodger fan. And once they left for LA, we became, my family was Mets fans, so like I grew up playing like I literally before I can remember, like I've just always loved baseball. And then from the time I was able to play it at like 5 years old, I've just, I've been a long suffering Mets fan ever since. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like, there's just something about playing the game and watching the game of baseball that is just like, it's just like peaceful, man. It's like literally the best game that's ever been created.
And we pick on you, but I mean, there's something very nostalgic about hearing the crack of the bat hit the ball, hear the crowds cheering.
Baseball's baseball's like no other sport because there's almost like baseball it does have the entertainment factor. I know a lot of people think baseball's slow and stuff like that, but it also has like the almost like fairy tale like history, like learning about like baseball past and learning about where the game came from is almost like, it almost reads like fiction, like it almost seems like the characters like transcend like the larger than life almost, so like it's really cool. Baseball as a whole.
There's another O's fan on here too. Let Jack know there's another O's fan.
Yeah,
they actually got what's crazy is the Baltimore Orioles. I'm pretty sure it was Major League MLB.com put this out. 0% chance predicted to make the playoffs. They literally
don't say that to Jack.
They gave him a literal 0.
I played baseball first before I did football, but over time you grow. Like I'm more football. That's what I became.
Right. Yeah, of course. We all I'm
friends with like Dave Palmer and the St. Clair family.
Yeah.
And Dave LaPointe, who played for the Yankees and the Cardinals. I mean, we're all good friends. And it's funny because I'll see them and we start talking and they're like, I just wasn't a baseball player. I wasn't built to be I was built to be a football player, not a baseball player. I mean, I was a catcher, and then I just got to the point where I started playing Pop Warner, and you develop a love for it. I watch football more than I do baseball, but I don't dislike baseball. I mean, I watch it. My family's all like
Mets fans.
Yeah. and they're brainwashing the granddaughters. So yeah.
Like I said, I mean, obviously, as Tom stated, the baseball history, it's really rich. Babe Ruth was bigger than life.
Yeah.
I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, is there a football icon that is bigger than the icon that's Babe Ruth? I mean, the stories and the history.
Well, depends on how you look at it. Vince Lombardi everybody knows who Vince Lombardi is.
True. But the stories and what Babe was and during that time, I mean, literally an overweight man, literally putting his cigar down in the dugout, hitting home runs and drunk half the time. I mean, it's just these iconic stories that you don't necessarily hear in football so much. Don't get me wrong. There's icons in football, but there's just this mystique about baseball history.
Yeah, but that's what I love about baseball is that it's kind of like baseball itself is different from all the other sports. It always had a different feel from all the other sports. Like Babe Ruth was like beyond better than I think any of his competition. Like I don't think there is anybody that was far and above better than the rest of his competition the way Babe Ruth was in the era that he played,
Oh, no, I understand. But again, and it's funny, the only live game, and I don't count hockey because I've watched it here and I watched NHL in Buffalo. The only game I ever went to was at Fenway Park.
That's awesome.
It was Boston Red Sox. I want to say they were playing the Orioles, maybe. All I know is I was rooting for the other team, and we were sitting in the wrong section for that. And I was 6, and people were yelling at me, and I'm 6 with my parents, and I'm like, "Yeah, go Orioles!" And they're like, "What? No, it's the Red Sox." That's back then.
Get clubbed.
Well, we're talking the 70s when tar and feathering still kind of happened once in a while in the stadium, so in the stands. So, but yeah, that's the only sport that I've never seen a live football game. Seeing the Green Monster and being there. And again, like Rob had just mentioned, he said, he doesn't enjoy watching it on TV, but he loves going to the game. And I feel the same way about hockey. I can't watch hockey on TV, but if I go to the arena and I'm not a huge hockey fan, but there's, again, I think, Tom, you understand this, and Hank too. The same thing with football. The energy of the crowd, the atmosphere, the noise, the music.
Oh yeah,
it gets you into it. In the same way, like I said, the crack of the bat hitting the ball is probably one of the most iconic sounds that you'll ever hear anywhere. Yeah. And I think it's just that gets the crowd cheering no matter what. And again, as much as we give Tom a lot of crap here about baseball, there's something we said that, yes, it may not be America's sport like it used to be because of ratings, but I think without baseball and what it has, I think some other sports would have suffered most definitely as far as, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, but that's the thing though, is like, I don't necessarily, the ratings aren't like crazy down. Like people are still watching baseball. Baseball's still doing very well in terms of like, bringing in like having fans, people watching, making money. Like baseball's still good. Like, I don't like, that's why I don't like
well, we've talked about this before though, that the stats have gone down in baseball where football has become taking over
baseball, but football over the past couple of years has taken a dip in viewership, like I think it just is the ebbs and flows of like, of sports as a whole, like people's interests go somewhere else. Like, like for a while, a lot of people were paying more attention to basketball than anything else, like I think it just, the ebbs and flows of what people find interesting in sports.
Oh, you could be right. I mean, the Michael Jordan era, I mean, a lot of people might have shifted sports. I mean, he's the Babe Ruth of basketball, if you want to put it that way in a way. I mean, the stories and the seeing him on the court, it was magic. I mean, without sounding corny, just what he could do on the court. He elevated the game. Yeah. Maybe more than Larry Bird, maybe more than, Dr. J. I don't know, but it was just something really cool about it. But anyway, it is the baseball edition. This is Tom's late Valentine's Day present.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to get into today's show before we take a commercial break. We're just going to go right into it because we have a little bit, a lot going on with the show. So MLB's new 2021 COVID-19 protocols are stricter and could result in potential fines and suspensions. Major League Baseball, as you know, opens tomorrow with its training camps with pitchers and catchers. Again, what was it? Oh, excuse me. Major League Baseball and the Players Union formally agreed to extensive health and safety protocols similar to a year ago, but this time will be repercussions for blatant violations, with players and team personnel subjected to suspensions and even a loss of salary for games. The rules on the field will remain the same as a year ago, except no universal designated hitter, at least for now. Double headers will be 7 innings instead of 9. Extra innings will begin with runners on second base. Before we get more into that, how do you feel about that, Tom? As far as now, we knew some of these rules were in effect, but how do you feel about these new additions to the rules here?
I mean, I figured that I didn't really expect the runner at second to stay. Like I thought that might have been only a COVID season kind of thing, but I guess they're gonna keep running with it and see what happens. I don't know. I'm still really surprised that the universal DH isn't happening. Like I can't believe that's not going to be a thing. But I don't know if it's going to get them to play baseball. I'm fine with it. I'm still the only one that I really have a major problem with is the runner at second thing. That just really weirds me out and just makes me feel like it's a different game at that point. But, if it's to get people home faster, if it's to get games over with faster, I guess.
And that's the thing. It seems like they want to rush it. Not that, okay, so the game lasts 3 hours, but on the 4th hour you get COVID. It doesn't make any sense.
But it's not even necessarily only like they're using COVID like as a precaution, like as a reason, because like baseball's had a problem with time, like the games have been running too long, so they're trying to figure out ways to speed it up and stuff. But so they're just using COVID as an excuse to try to levy in some of these changes. But I'm still really surprised runner on second is staying. It's totally weird.
Oh, cool. All right. Sorry, going back into it. Spring training, obviously, like I said earlier, begins tomorrow. It may also be shortened to 5-inning or 7-inning games if agreed upon by both managers, and the completion of innings will not be required if a pitcher has thrown at least 20 pitches. Pitchers will also be permitted to re-enter games after being removed during spring training. Now, why the rush? Yeah, Snacks is awake. He's he's waiting for the football segment.
Did we talk about football? Did I miss it? Was it wide right?
Yeah, no, it was this.
Just a bit outside.
Bob Euchre, baby.
Euchre.
Yeah, the man, the myth. Why rush the game? Why speed up the game? I mean, are people complaining it takes so long? If you love the game, who cares? I mean, at the same time, you would think, let's think marketing. All right, we all do marketing for our little bit of business is what we do through. You do it through GHR. Hank does it through his. I do it through multiple places. Longer games means more TV spots, means more advertisement money. But obviously, yes, there becomes a point where enough is enough, I guess.
Well, yeah, because you got people's attention spans just get shorter and shorter, like how but TikTok videos is the big thing right now, and they're only 60 seconds long, so like baseball game, it's hard when you're watching a baseball game because like the time's just progressively gone up. Like I think baseball games were getting done in like 2.5 hours, and now you're getting north of 3.5, maybe almost 4. Like longer games, I guess in theory, you're right. In theory, it means more commercial spots and stuff like that, but you also have to keep people's interest,
Right, of course. Oh yeah.
But
And we all know that our attention spans get shorter and shorter every year. We're the immediate gratification kind of people at this point,
Yeah, exactly.
Once in camp, they will not be permitted to dine at indoor restaurants, go into bars or clubs. Damn well that's not good. You know what? That's not going to stop them, I'm sure. But we'll see what happens. Or attend indoor gatherings with more than 10 people. Now, the rule was it's up to 20 to 25. So I'm wondering if they're just trying to keep everything within better standards than what the COVID rules are. This includes everything from fitness centers, movie theaters, and bowling alleys. Players and team personnel also are restricted from leaving the team hotel on the road except for team activities, picking up outdoor curbside food, golf, outdoor walks, and exercise. Players also are prohibited from having guests or even family members inside the rooms. We know damn well that's not going to happen. That somebody's going to sneak somebody in. They will be permitted only to meet outdoors with family or household members or in a semi-private outdoor space at the hotel. They also are not permitted to dine in a hotel, restaurant, or bar. They are also required to wear, what do you call them? Kickstand. It's a contracting tracing device.
Those tracing things.
Yeah,
the
NBA's use them.
Yeah, the NBA and the NFL use them, permitting clubs to conduct contract tracing if a player or personnel member tests positive while also monitoring social distancing. They might as well just give them the ankle bracelets and just put them on probation. Might as well.
You
might as well
on
just
house arrest.
Yeah, give them a house arrest. Players will also be subject to temperature checks and daily symptom screens will be conducted twice a day for the entire season and monthly antibody tests. Those who test positive will have to quarantine for at least 10 days and won't be allowed to access team facilities during that time. Players will have to undergo a cardiac evaluation before returning. Asymptomatic individuals must remain so for the entire isolation period. The MLB and the MLBPA will work with public health authorities on issues related to the availability and timing of vaccinations for players, club staff, and other individuals subject to these protocols. Vaccinations will be made available to covered individuals pursuant to these protocols. Only after the relevant public health officials have deemed that it is appropriate to proceed. However, nothing in these protocols shall prevent or otherwise restrict a covered individual for receiving an FDA authorized or approved COVID vaccination. Now, we gave them props. We gave Major League Baseball some major props last year. Yeah. They bubbled it down. They did it. NFL should have listened to what they were doing to a point. But again, you can't bubble to the NFL. The team is different. But they're starting off great, just like the NBA. They're going strong with it. And I think what they did last year helped them to start on time this year. Now, will there be changes? Could there be exceptions? Could there be an outbreak? We don't know. We're still going into the COVID year. So again, with the player on second base kind of thing, we are still in COVID season. I mean, there is no, hey, it's clean, it's gone. But I think they're starting off great. And I think because last year, as we talked, there was no sports. People are like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And like you, Tom, you're like, it just kind of sets you when you're used to the schedule, all the time, and this sets you off, especially somebody who's in a sports fan. That's like, that's like me getting called and losing my job, being on unemployment. That just screwed up my whole routine and whatnot in a way.
Yeah.
And I think for diehard fans, no matter what sport, last year was tough for almost everybody. I really think that it was tough, and especially more so maybe baseball fans.
Right. But you know what? They learned a lot from last year, even though it was a shorter season.
Right.
They learned a lot of things. So now they've implemented a lot of it now, and they probably enhanced it to the point where they can, the testing and, being around people and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be better. It's, I think the season's going to be a lot longer. It's going to be better for Tom.
Hell of a lot better than 60 games. It's a lot better than freaking 60 games. I'm going to tell you that right now. I cannot wait for I'm hoping a full season of Francisco Lindor at shortstop for the Mets. But the thing is though, with how many games they're trying to play, there's probably going to be an outbreak. In hockey, we just had the Devils. The Devils didn't play for 2 weeks.
Right.
2 weeks. The last game was January 4th or something like that. I don't know. Or it was probably earlier than that.
But they're not doing the same thing that they did last time, though, right?
No, well, because when the NHL came back, they bubbled up in Edmonton and Toronto and just did a playoff tournament to get to the cup. This is them trying to play through a whole season.
Right.
That's why it was so hard for baseball, because last time this had for COVID in 2020, the NBA and NHL just shut down, restart in a couple months, just did a playoff tournament. Boom, we have a champion. Baseball tried to do a whole season. They tried to start a season and end a season. And that's why we only got 60 games. Now they're going to try and play a whole season.
Not to diminish this. I think we're all getting frustrated. We don't really talk COVID and politics here, but how many people have gotten the flu? And I'm not diminishing the fact of COVID. So everybody relax and calm down, but everybody's going to eventually get it. In time, you're right. There's probably going to be an outbreak. How many times have we maybe had an outbreak of the flu and there's 5 players and they're playing kind of thing? I understand the severity of COVID, but what I'm saying is, I think it is a big deal, but I think everybody's going to get it. There's going to be players that are going to get it, and they're making the proper procedures to take care of it and go along with it. The thing that bothers me is now, immediately one player gets it, we got to put it out in the news. Okay, that's great. Who cares? I mean, if something serious is happening, then fine. If he passes away or something, I get that. But why every time do you have to, when a player gets it, you have to put it in the news? I understand that it's clickbait or it's hits on news articles, whatnot, but it's just come on, everybody. Fine. Who cares?
Well,
I'm getting frustrated. I just don't care.
but the thing is that they have to group together because they have to travel together for wherever they're going and things like that. So they're going to be together all the time. The whole thing is that it's the other part of it. It's the gatherings that they don't need to. So if they want to play and be paid to play, they're going to sacrifice things in order to do that. So it's going to be the large family gatherings. You got Easter coming up. You've got, the
Mom's
summer,
Day.
things like that. Everybody's going to be out. Right. Everything's going to be outside. So it's going to be be a lot different, I think, this time around for everybody, for the players and stuff like that. And then they're bringing in all of this, they're bringing all these kids in that wanted to play. So they're going to have longer, they're going to have bigger rosters, so to speak.
Rob brings up a point, given the MLB situation for COVID safety. I bet it's harder to pull players up from the farm teams. I wonder if that's probably going to be a situation as well. Yes.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the future of the MLB, the minor leagues, is right now. I don't know if they're even having a season, and if it's going to be like last year where they have a taxi squad of players in. I know for the Mets, I believe they were in Brooklyn. They were on Coney Island. They were where the Cyclones play, if I remember correctly. And they just had the taxi squad there, and if they needed players, they just ship them into Queens and then ship the guys out. I don't know if they had a traditional minor leagues. I don't know if we're having a traditional minor leagues. So
that is up in the air still. There hasn't been any real major announcements about that.
I have not seen a single thing.
Yeah,
I was told the other day, I went into a local baseball card shop, and the owner told me that I said, he's talking about how stuff selling Topps baseball cards, the packs, are selling like crazy because they have 60 rookies in Series 1.
Holy
because
crap.
they didn't have them all from last year.
Oh, wow. Gotcha.
So now they've got almost double. They're doing 20 more rookies. So there's usually anywhere between 30 and 40.
The card game is getting back. It's almost coming back to the late 90s. Not as big and popular as 90s, but it's coming back again. 80s and 90s.
Well, they're not making as much. That's the thing. No. So they're not making as many.
Which is good. Which is definitely good. Well, on that note, when we come back, we're going to take a short break and listen to one of our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to be talking about what we expect to see in the 2021 Major League season. We're putting Tom to the test. Now, this might not be this is not the traditional poll. This is pretty much going to be really on Tom. Hank is just there just to be there. But if Tom,
I'm just going to try and answer a question.
Well, first off, this is all about Tom. This is Tom Greer Day. It's the
I don't
day
want to take
before
all. I don't want to take all the shine. Egg's got to
you
come up with some answers.
Listen, well, I made this poll just for you.
Okay.
So
okay.
Oh, so I can just watch?
Well, no,
Oh,
you
this is
can
gonna be
answer.
such a train. This is gonna be such a train
Hank.
wreck.
Actually, Hank, you might want to have your wife put on the headphones, because I bet you she could play.
We're gonna go there.
We're gonna go there.
Well,
Yes,
I'm so
we
scared
are.
of failing. I'm so scared that I'm gonna fail.
You say that every time, but I'll tell you what: if you lose this poll, now you can't lose the poll because I don't think Snacks will be able to answer all these questions. Now, his wife, on the other hand, if we put her in the seat, then we might have a chance.
If it's about the Mets, she might.
That's duh. Why else would she be here? It would be about the Mets. I mean, she is better looking than you, but yes, it is about the Mets. But anyway, if you don't do well in this poll, you are going to have to pull your baseball card. You're going to have to pull it. You're going to have to pull it.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
All that and more when we return.
Calling it a day, Carrie?
Oh no, there's more.
Like what?
More reps, more steps. More this, more that. More time to breathe. More hustle, more grind.
There's more to carry underwear.
And I should wrap by midnight.
Impressive.
And there's more to Body Armor Light with natural sweeteners, no sugar added, and only 20 calories.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Tuesday night edition of Today with DW. It is the sports edition. And there we go. Before we get into our segments, Tom got a special package. See, look at that. You're getting packages. Oh, it's like Valentine's Day. Look at this. You got your own themed show today. It's National Mr. Tom Greer Day, the day before open, training camp. And you got one of the newest products from our amazing sponsor, Body Armor. Visit drinkbodyarmor.com for a location near you. So give everybody the lowdown. You are the very first of us to try this.
Okay,
so
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
this is delicious. I honestly, I wasn't sure because I'm not the energy drink stuff. I was big on energy drinks for a while, but I tried to stop drinking them because they were way too sugary. This is awesome. This is actually probably the most delicious energy drink type stuff I've ever had. I think I tried the fruit punch one. I thought that was going to be my favorite, but this berry blitz, the blue one, I'm not a shock. Blue's my favorite color. Is delicious. It's
almost
awesome.
Mets blue.
Exactly. It is almost Mets blue, but no, this is actually really awesome. I was not that I was afraid I wasn't going to like it because the Body Armor is actually really good. It's just that I wasn't expecting to like the energy drink style stuff, but no, this is delicious.
Is it like a real traditional energy drink?
No, it doesn't hit you like a Red Bull or a Monster where it feels like your teeth are rotting out of your head. This is actually you would have no idea that this is just it's like Body Armor. You wouldn't know that it's like an actual energy drink.
Nice.
Until it
nice.
Actually, perks you up a little bit.
Nice. And on that, as we zoom in on Tom, are you going to put your Body Armor next to the roses you got for Valentine's Day?
Those are mine. You can forget me.
What other flavors did you get?
Tom's
I got fruit punch. I gotta go look at the actual names of them. I can only give you colors right now.
Right.
So
yeah.
So
Tom's thinking he wish he had his green screen up right now.
No, I don't mind. I'm proud of those flowers. Those are Kim's flowers. She left them here.
I know. Those are not. Well, you did a good job, Tom.
I did do a good job. God
damn it! All right, let's get into the rest of the day. So it is the Major League Baseball edition. What the 2021 MLB season is going to look like, plus the biggest lessons we've learned from Super Bowl 55. You know what the biggest lesson we learned from Super Bowl 55? Tom Brady is not the drinking goat.
Yeah.
he cannot hold his liquor. So even though this is the MLB version theme show today, I got to tell you, we've already talked enough about the hate of Tom Brady. And I was listening to another podcast, Tell 'em Steve Dave. If you're not familiar with them, you should check them out, TSD. So Walt is he runs the Kevin Smith's comic book store in Red Bank, New Jersey. He is a huge GOAT fan. And I was listening to it today, and fans and whatnot, they have a Patreon. So fans are hitting him up going, what do you think your boy now? Well, he can't even walk and he's drunk. Really? What do you mean? What do I think? He deserves as many beers and does whatever he wants after winning that game. So what do you mean? What do you think now? Who gives a crap? I was like, come on, you guys. The poor guy can't do anything right, but anyway, it was pretty funny. And who cares? He could be drunk for the next 5-6 days. He deserved it for sure.
Can you imagine if he would have dropped that down into the water?
Oh my God. Yes. Gronk would have jumped for it. Gronk would have went down and got it. Damn well, you probably would have jumped off that boat to go get it.
The woman who's I think she's like the wife or the daughter. I don't know. She in some way is related to one of the silversmiths that made that trophy. She's like looking for an apology because she said that she's offended that somebody would disrespect the trophy in that way and would disrespect the silversmiths that made the trophy that way, and is looking for a public apology from Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they threw the Lombardi trophy to another boat.
The trophy represents the championship. The person that holds the championship has that trophy. Yeah. That is their trophy. If they decided they want to throw it over a boat to somebody else and they catch it, that's on them.
Yeah.
That's their trophy. They earned that right to do whatever they wanted to it.
I want to know the cost. I want to know the cost. I want to know how much that is because I'm wondering if Tom could probably afford it. If not, I know his wife
sent a diver down to get it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, right. I'm sure of it, and I'm sure his wife can afford it. But anyway, let's get into it. All the drama surrounding MLB and the MLBPA negotiations can be put to rest for now. Happy Tuesday. Hope you managed to survive yesterday's post Super Bowl takes. Whoops, I'm reading the wrong one. There we go. Also, it is.
Oh, skip the screen.
It is post Super Bowl takes. Some of the key things that we learned during the Super Bowl, but we've also got some big baseball news. We're on one step closer to MLB season after the league and players association finally agreed to protocols, as I stated before, in the 2021 campaign. So let's get to the good stuff. MLB, number one, MLB and MLBPA agreed a deal for 2020 season. If you're up looking for a simple mercy this morning, there might be do the trick. Major League Baseball and the MLB Players Association have come to an agreement on safety protocol rules, as I stated before, meaning they're just about set for a new campaign to go underway. So they're still going through this, even though what we said before in the article before the commercial break, I think it's an ongoing. I think, Tom, you kind of hit it on the button there too. Some of the things may change. I mean, it's April 1st, April Fool's Day. Why have opening day and April Fool's Day? Come on, at least put it on April 2nd. At least, come on, don't jinx yourself. But I'm sure there's going to be, from now till then, I'm sure they're still going to be working out things. And they may be adding things, so.
The universal DH, like they keep saying, like reports keep saying it's not happening, but it is still very much up in the air. Like we could wake up tomorrow and it'd be like, universal DH is happening. Right. Like nobody has any idea.
So the big things to take away so far right now with this part of the negotiations is that they're planning on doing a full 162 games. Doubleheaders will be 2 7-inning games. Each offense will get a runner on second, as I started before, or get a runner on second to start every extra inning. Then there will be no universal designated hitter, and in parentheses for now. So again, we might see that happen soon. Playoff field will feature 5 teams per league, 3 division winners, and 2 wild cards. 1 game play in between wild card teams. Still possible that 2 sides could agree to add the universal DHL or expanded playoffs before the season starts. But as of right now, it looks like this deal is going to carry them into spring training in a few weeks. Maybe the old traditionalists will disagree, but I find it pretty disappointing. The article here from ESPN that there's no universal DH in the mix this year. I'd much rather see the skilled hitters take the box instead of an overmatched pitcher who would most likely lay down a bunt or a wave at pitches aimlessly. Okay, that makes sense. How do you feel about that, Tom? What do you think of that? Do you think that's a legit statement?
Well, it is. It's 100% a legit statement. I was a person that used to love the separation between 2 leagues, like National League and American League. Like I like the difference, but we're going to wind up getting DHs in both leagues anyway. So you might as well just make it happen. Like pitchers coming up and just being automatic outs isn't good for the game. So you might as well just let it happen at this point, like stop denying the future. It's going to happen.
They're talking about just making it universal across the board.
Pitchers don't hit anymore. Yeah. It'll just be DHs. It'll prolong careers too, because like guys that necessarily can't play the field anymore, can't they lost a step, but can still hit the ball because hitting's still a crazy skill. Like if you could still hit a baseball, that's pretty amazing.
Right.
It just prolongs careers. Guys will play for a while.
I never really understood why they had that in effect anyway for American League and
yeah, I know that there was it was at one point it was enjoyed, like the actual differences between the 2 leagues, but You know, at this point, it's just old and antiquated.
Right,
you know, like
right.
you can love baseball traditionalists can love the differences between both leagues, but it really doesn't make sense.
Well, excuse me. Well, neither side really wants to give up concessions right now, especially ahead of those CBA talks. But it's annoying for fans who are looking for the league to take a step forward. In any case, we can be thankful that we're here complaining about the universal DHL and not complaining over two sides endlessly bickering and instantly stalling negotiations. So there you go. Number 2, lessons we learned from Super Bowl 55. Tom Brady can't drink. All right, move on to number 3. No, just kidding. Super Bowl 55 wasn't the most exciting and competitive championship game that we've seen, but that doesn't mean that we can't learn anything from it. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The Buccaneers getting the Super Bowl and then running away with the game helped bring some things clear into focus. The first crystal clear empathy might seem rather basic and obvious. Quarterback play is pretty much everything, which I don't necessarily know if I agree with that pretty much statement, but I mean, yeah, I guess. Pardon me for, as the writer says, for scorching a hot take. We all know it's a quarterback league in 2021, but it's hard to overlook how much better the Buccaneers got by upgrading at the quarterback position last season, offseason, how much they played into them winning this year. In 2019, the Buccaneers finished the regular season ranked 3rd in both yards points, but Jameis Winston led the league in turnovers with 35. Under Tom Brady in 2020, the Bucs scored 58 offense touchdowns and had a 8+ turnover ratio. They turned it over on 8.9% of their possessions. Allow our Jared Dublin to illustrate several other key lessons, including the importance of offensive line depth, which players should pay up for and which you shouldn't. Wow. All right, here we go. We know the show's almost over. I can't read. Which players you should pay up for, which you should not, and adaptly through the course of a season. Biggest takeaway for this year's Super Bowl will be that it doesn't matter how good your quarterback is when he has no time to throw or get comfortable in the pocket. Of course, this is a lesson that I learned in 2028 when Brady and defeated the Patriots, got rushed around by the Giants. Now, this is coming from an ESPN. Yeah, I know. So I guess we were pretty much basically what the writer is stating is that pretty much it's a quarterback game, but is it really? It's basically saying that baseball is a pitcher's game. I mean, I don't think I could say. I think it's more of a pitcher's game than it is necessarily a quarterback's game to a point. I mean, I guess we could argue this for a whole show.
Well, what do you mean exactly?
Well, that the pitcher, the way the article is stating is what we're saying here is the takeaway is that as it's changed, it seems to be more and more focused on the quarterback and not so much giving the credit to the offensive or defensive line so much as years past.
Okay.
And we see that a little bit now in baseball. It is. I mean, the man's out by himself. I mean, he's on the mound. I mean, it is a pitcher's game, but at the same time, we got outfielders, we got base runners. We got hitting. I mean, but again, is it the pitcher that really controls the game? I mean,
if you go ahead and ask Jacob DeGrom, I think he would say, "I wish I had more wins under my belt." Because, if you have bad pitching, you're screwed. But if you have good pitching, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win.
Right.
Jacob DeGrom is the best pitcher in baseball. There's no argument. Jacob DeGrom is the best pitcher in baseball, and his win loss.
Is he the GOAT of baseball?
Not greatest of all time. No, he's not the greatest of all time, but he's a great pitcher. Right. But his win-loss record does not reflect how good of a pitcher he is because he's played on some garbage Mets teams that couldn't score any runs for him.
We can say that about Aaron Rodgers.
We could say that about we absolutely could say that about Aaron Rodgers. So but that's what I'm saying. Pitching is important. Pitching is important, but I wouldn't equate it to quarterbacks because quarterbacks are important. You could have an awesome offensive line. You could have an awesome defensive line. If you have a bad quarterback, doesn't matter. You're going to be bad.
Right. I hear you. And obviously it depends on your outfielders too. I mean, you can still be a good pitcher and still have a few hits, but if they can't catch the ball,
that's true.
If they don't catch the ball, your stats just got shot.
True. Very true.
So everybody else playing really controls your stats. But I guess I could say the same thing with quarterbacks. I mean, if your defense isn't helping, or if your offensive line's not helping you, and you get an interception, that affects your stats as well.
True.
So
you gotta have the offensive line too. I mean, that's the big thing. A lot of teams don't have the depth, like you were saying earlier. They don't have the depth of it. But in baseball, there's a lot of defense too. You got shifts and everything else.
Right.
Where they're going to hit the ball, where the pitcher's putting the ball for them to hit.
No, I totally agree. Let's move right on to the next one because the last topic for this wasn't really that went right into basketball. So I don't know what we're taking from the NBA.
Oh, by the way, do you want to know how much a Super Bowl trophy costs?
Oh yeah,
I found the price.
Oh boy.
This is off of profootballnetwork.com. 50K. 50K to produce, and it takes about 4 months and 72 hours of labor to complete.
And some asshole wanted to throw that from one boat to another. How dare he?
The asshole of a goat.
Yeah,
the goat trophy. You want it?
The goat's ass. Oh man, that's too funny.
Quick question though, before we circle back, because I just didn't get to ask this question when we first brought it up. Like, because Tom Brady, like, he eats super healthy, he treats his body like a temple, doesn't do anything outrageous. How many beers do you think he really had to get him to that point?
It was tequila.
Okay, how much? What did he have? Like maybe a droplet of tequila? Like he took an eyedropper.
As you are more physically fit, your body produces the alcohol, processes the body all the alcohol differently. So the more physically fit you are, and if you have glasses of beer with it moderately, it takes you longer to get drunk. The more unfit you are, the quicker it is that you'll become drunk.
But I'm saying like his tolerance might be down because I would imagine that he doesn't drink a lot.
And that could be as well. I mean, maybe 4 shots, 5. But if you watch, his handlers holding him up. He doesn't have sea legs. He didn't just get off the boat going, "Oh, the waves are bad." His handlers literally holding him up. So I'm sure I'm sure he had more than 4 or 5 shots. And I'm sure there's beer, and I'm sure there's champagne. But you're right. His tolerance might not be as high because he doesn't drink during the season. But again, he's not Gronk. Gronk was probably sober. He's probably like,
Gronk was
give me another bottle.
Yeah, Gronk's tapping kegs himself.
They showed Arians walking around on the boat when he was talking with his beer, Bud Light in his hand. I mean, listen, they're celebrating. Why not? Have fun.
Exactly. Who gives a crap?
Hell yeah.
Haters will hate, as we know. Some of my biggest fans on this network are haters, so they keep the show going. Hoyer calls Bryant trade rumors inaccurate, says club expect to sign a reliever. Recent reports of trade talks between the Cubs and Mets regarding star third baseman Chris Bryant are inaccurate. Cubs president of baseball operations Jed Hoyer tells reporters in a Zoom conference call. Jesus, wow, here we go. Okay. Hoyer emphasized that he is not engaged in any active trade conversation, has not had recent trade talks. By and large, I would expect this would be what our team will look like, Hoyer added. That's not to say that won't be slight tweaks as we move forward. Now, Tom, what do you think on that? What do you take on this before I get more of this article with this?
I mean, I wasn't really a fan of the Cubs, of the Mets trading for Chris Bryant anyway. I mean, like, he's a really good player. Like, if the Mets did trade for him, I wouldn't be upset, but I also wasn't looking for it because the dude's a free agent at the end of the year. You know, like, the Mets have a laundry list of people that they're going to have to pay next offseason, and I don't want to add Chris Bryant to it and give up too much to get him. You know, I'm not about that. That being said, if Chris Bryant's playing third base for the New York Mets and in that lineup next season, I'm not going to be a mad person because the lineup will just be unbelievable, you know, like, so it's kind of a catch-22.
Right. Hoyer also said it left open the door for some potential minor league deals even after camp opens, and he more instrumentally tipped his hand that the club could soon have another major league free agent signing to announce for the bullpen. Bullpen help would be plenty sensible for the Cubs, even if their entire current group were healthy, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Hoyer revealed that right-hander Rowan Wick is behind schedule due to an intercostal strain, while southpaw Kyle Ryan is likely to be placed on the COVID-19 list and will have his start to spring training delayed as a result. That pair of absences likely leaves the Cubs with a mix of Greg Campbell, Andrew Chafin, Dan Winkler. Is that Henry Winkler's son? Jason Adam, Dwayne Underwood Jr., Brad Weck, Rob Stock, Dylan Maples, and Jonathan Holder, among a few others with even less experience on the 40-man roster. So starting off already, the team's already starting off a little bit slow, but we expected that. Anyway, I mean, I expected that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think a lot of teams are going to be starting off a little awkwardly, no matter with the trades or not, especially what was going on. Don't you agree?
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think they might be a little bit better now that we're kind of going to have something kind of close to what a normal spring training is. You know, like last year they had a little bit of spring training and then they had to shut down for a few months before we started up late in the summer, you know. So this time you're going to have your spring training, and assuming everything goes well, you know, because we do have to get to April 1st, assuming everything goes well, we'll have a normal baseball season, a relatively normal baseball season. So no, I mean, like, I think they'll be better prepared than they were last year.
I think so. I agree. We'll see what happens. I think again, this year is going to be, it's up for grabs. I mean, last year we kind of joked that it was the COVID year. It doesn't count. I mean, it does count, but I think a lot of things are changing. I mean, look at your man with the Mets. I'm sure there's change. I'm sure there's stuff going on with the Mets that has not even been put out in the news yet. I'm sure they're making some major moves and whatnot, and he'll announce it when he's like, I'm reading the news, and because I do the research a little bit for the sports edition. Usually Tom does the most of it, but I'm reading stuff. He knows how to announce stuff. Already hasn't been a major announcements, but he knows how to properly get things announced. And that's a marketing and that's a great play for an owner. Having an owner knowing when to do it and when to say it, not too soon, not too late. I think that's going to elevate the Mets. Even if anything, it's going to elevate your fan base. I mean, I think he's doing a great job already.
Well, he's done it already. Like he's already done it. This is one of the best offseasons. Like people are complaining because the Mets didn't get George Springer or Trevor Bauer. This has been one of the best off seasons the Mets have had in years. Like, I don't know, years. Like it isn't very often that the Mets wind up getting one of the 5 best players in the entire sport in Francisco Lindor. So this has been amazing. Like it's been a night and day difference between what the Mets were last year or for the last 2 decades to what they are right now. You know, like it's crazy.
This means Hank, how many, do you watch games with your wife, or do you like come in?
I watch them.
Listen, I watch them.
I do. I watch the games. She has them on, and you know, I sit there and watch them, and
you rib her, don't you? You give her you.
No, I don't. I sit there and I watch. Why do you do that? That's stupid.
She's like, shut up, Hank.
Yep. Hey, that's exactly what she does.
So we talked about ball tampering. Nobody wants bad balls, especially during the holiday season, especially during Valentine's Day. So is it okay for the league to change their balls instead of somebody else? MLB slightly deadening ball amid home run surge. Bite me right now. MLB anticipates the changes will be subtle. In a memo to teams last week, cites an independent lab that found that new balls will fly. I know sometimes I'm a 12-year-old kid. I can't help it. New balls, I said that again on purpose, will fly 1 to 2 feet shorter on balls hit over 375 feet. What the frig? Okay. MLB anticipates the changes will be subtle in a memo, as I stated before. 5 more teams also plan to add humidors to their stadiums, raising to 10 of MLB's 30 stadiums expected to be equipped with humidity-controlled storage spaces. A person familiar with the note spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anomaly Monday because the memo sent by MLB Executive Vice President of Baseball Operations Morgan Sword was sent privately. The Athletic first reported the contents of the memo. Now, the makeup of official Rawlings baseballs used in MLB games has come under scrutiny in recent years. A record 6,776 homers were hit in the 2019 season, and the rate of home runs fell only slightly during the pandemic-shortened 2020 season from 6.6% of plate appearances, resulting in homers in 2019 to 6.5 last year. Why? What's the point? I mean, what is the goddamn point? I mean, guys were doing roids, allegedly to hit home runs. And so now guys are going to have to be doing allegedly more roids to hit the ball farther because I can't get it 2 feet out. Before I go further on the topic, Hank, what's your take on this? I mean,
my question as somebody that's, you know, just watches baseball, that's not really into the baseball part of it, but how many different times has the ball changed? And that's the thing. I mean, over time, if the ball hasn't changed that much, the thing is, you got to look at is the guys are training more now than they used to back then. And they're bigger, they're stronger, and they're faster. Yeah. And you get these little guys, they're all muscular, and they crank the shit out of a ball.
Yeah.
Tom, what do you think about this before I go further?
I think it's stupid because like everybody loves runs scored. People still like as much as relying on the home run has kind of killed baseball a little bit because, you know, it slows the game down with guys either hitting home runs or striking out over 100 times a year. I don't see where deading the baseball and hitting less home runs helps the sport, especially when you mess with baseballs like that and you deaden them, you're probably going to lend yourself to pitchers blowing their arms out a little more consistently, you know, and it's going to be bad. Like you're going to have star pitchers completely throwing their arms out because they had to go ahead and change the weight of the baseballs again. You know, I'd rather the home runs. They're at least a little exciting.
But that's the thing. They're using wooden bats.
Yeah.
Correct? They're not using, like, you know, you go into softball and there's a bat for everything.
Yeah.
You know, you got they're composite bats and everything. They're not using those. They're
Yes.
using wooden bats. If the ball hasn't changed and they're just still using wooden bats, what's the difference? It's the guys. It's the athlete themselves that are taking the time.
Well, the rumor was the last, like, I think it was the last 2 years that they juiced the balls a little bit to elevate the home runs, to elevate home runs or hard hit balls and stuff like that, to help launch angle on some of the swings. Like, that was, I don't know if that was ever totally confirmed, but it was like,
right. Well, we
near, like, they just needed MLB to say yes. Like, everybody for the
Right.
most part figured it out that they juiced the baseballs. And now after they were called out on it, they're like, all right, well, we're not necessarily going to say we juiced them, but we're definitely going to deaden them, you know? And it's like, I feel like it's kind of,
we juiced them, so now we're going to bring them back.
exactly. Yeah.
And seam height seems to be an issue with a pitcher, and how it travels through the air and how it's hit on the bat as well. That was another thing that throughout the years, as the height of the seam has changed. MLB balls are hand sewn by workers at Rawlings factory in Costa Rica, leading to inventable minor deviations in production that can have sizable repercussions. The league mandates all baseballs have a coefficient or restitution, essentially a measure of the ball's bounciness from ranging to 0.530 to 0.570. But in recent years, the average COR has trended upward with a specific range. In an effort to better center the ball, Rawlings has loosened the tension of the first 3 wool windings within the ball. Its research estimates the adjustment will bring the COR down to 0.01 to 0.02, and will also lessen the ball's weight by 2.8 grams. Come on, that's like deflating the ball there. Come on, deflate gate. Let's go. Nobody likes small balls, everyone. Well, no, I don't think they like big balls. But without changing its size, the league does not anticipate the change in weight will affect pitcher velocities. Let's talk about that for a minute. Like, we can all go back to deflate gate and whether it was 0.5 ounces, 0.03 ounces, whatever. Do you think, Tom, that small change in the weight really could affect the way that a pitcher throws it? I mean, if the weight, technically, even though it's a small amount, do you think that fast pitch is actually going to be faster?
I mean, we're talking about baseball pitchers that like a blister on their finger affects something, or like, the minor, like maybe a nail that's a little too grown in affects the pitch. So you mean to tell, like, you can't tell me that changing the weight of a baseball isn't going to change the stress that you're putting on your arm, because already throwing a baseball overhand is already an unnatural movement. Like, that's not a movement natural to the body. So you're already lending yourself to get hurt a little worse.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, again, I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you that it's definitely going to hurt their arms. But I mean, if you were to tell me that a pitcher got hurt because the ball was weighted a little heavier, then I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
But they actually make practice in softball and baseball. They make the weighted baseball so that you throw it, and the mechanics of the arm, and everything goes the same. So you get a heavier baseball and you throw a lighter baseball, it's going to go faster.
I was going to say, because this is definitely 2.8 grams lighter. I cannot see. It's like training last year with the heavier balls and building up resistance, like training with weights. And all of a sudden you start throwing a lighter ball. It's like them throwing a baseball, turning around, throwing a tennis ball, which the thing is going to catch on fire. It's,
which also might hurt. Cause if you're trying to force a lighter ball after throwing the heavier ball, you might
throw yourself out of whack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I first started long snap, it was in the Marine Corps, and when I played on the unit team, and we had a football that the coach went and cut the tip of the football off and then filled it with cement.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's what I long snapped with. No, I'm serious. That's what I long snapped with, was a heavier football. And I had to get it the same trajectory and angle and everything else from the release time upside down and snap it and see where the ball was going and make sure they got it. And it had to hit the same spot. But
how's that feel though when you went to a regular football? You throw yourself out of whack.
It's just adjustment, because it's all plyometrics in the body. It's how the body reacts and how you do it, the motion that you use every single time. And you got a heavier ball. All of a sudden you stamp that ball and it goes faster. It gets there quicker.
Rob asked you, they think he will have more rubber in the balls themselves. They haven't said if that's the case or not. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Again, that's a good thing. We'll do the more you know segment and revisit this topic see how many times the Major League Baseballs have been adjusted throughout the years. I'm sure it's had to gone through major changes. We should do that with football and basketball as well. See what the major changes have been. No worry, Rob. It's all good. See what the major changes have been and how it's affected. I think that'd be a good topic to have between baseball, football, and basketball, maybe even soccer at that point, to see were the advancements worth it and was it better? And I think I don't think anybody's really talked about that topic. So I think that's something that we'll try to visit maybe next week. We're going to go into the next topic as we move along. David Ortiz sounds off on today's MLB. It's effing boring. Oh boy. David Ortiz built an incredible major league career and an ability to mash home runs, but the former Boston Red Sox player believes the demand for power in today's game has gone too far. Ortiz made some pointed comments about the current state of Major League Baseball in an interview with the Boston Globe over the weekend. To me, it's messed up, Ortiz states that the game has changed a lot. Coaches only want kids to hit home runs, and that's all they practice because that's what Jesus, because they want to get paid. Jesus. Excuse me. We used to want to develop great hitters. Now it's all strikeouts with some home runs, and not with those new balls. You're not going to get any home runs, and it's straight up boring. If you could bet in Vegas that the next hitter was going to strike out, you take it every time. The numbers support Ortiz's complaint as well. While home runs totals have gradually risen, as I stated before, over the past decade, strikeouts have skyrocketed. MLB broke its strikeout record for the 12th consecutive year in 2019 with a total of 48,823 batters whiffed. Ortiz wasn't exactly a contact hitter, recording 6 seasons of at least 100 strikeouts and getting KO'd a career high of 145 times in 2010. But Big Bobby believes the difference in today's game is that strikeouts aren't viewed as negatively. It's just so long as long balls have them. Okay. You're the baseball guy.
Oh, me. Well, it does kind of stink. Like I love home runs, like hitting a big home run, like a walk-off homer or like a late inning home run. Like it's awesome. But no, I kind of agree with them. It kind of stinks that they've just accepted the striking out as a cool thing, that it's okay to just take the out. You know, I'd rather see people put baseballs in play. I'd rather see more people on base, stolen bases, like, doubles, triples, or you didn't really see a lot of triples anyway, but I would rather see more base runners rather than seeing guys strike out over 100 times a year. Like it sucks. It's not as fun just watching guys come up and either strike out or hit a home run. That's really all you really get. You don't get guys that are actually just actively trying to hit shoot the gaps and get on base anymore.
Do you think it's is it a strategy play? Is it a coach's play? We don't see a lot of people taking chances like bunts. I used to love when a batter goes up and the pitcher comes up and you see him stance back in the day. You're like, oh crap, he's going to bunt. This is going to be awesome. Is he going to make? I mean, that's exciting to see where it's going to go. I always loved that as a kid. I'm like, that's going to be sweet.
Well, it's because now you just have people that go by like laws of averages and like what this person's going to do in this specific situation. Like if the bunt, when they put it into their algorithms and stuff like that, and the probabilities of this guy getting out more from a bunt is higher than him not getting out, then you're not going to see bunts anymore. Like you don't see people lay down sacrifice bunts anymore. Like it's all a numbers game now, and that's kind of the way we're at. It's instead of, like I said, instead of trying to get people on base, all they care about is launch angle and how many home runs a guy's going to hit every year. That's the way it is. But Ortiz is right.
Right. Yeah. Well, I like the old days. I do like.
Me too. I'm with you. Totally with you.
I totally like the old days. All right, we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, it is Today in Sports History, brought to you by Shirt Factory. Visit them, shirtfactorygf.com, and we're going to get into the poll. So Snacks is going to go get his wife, and Tom, watch out. No, I'm just kidding. We'll be right back.
We all want to win championships. We all want to be the best. We all want it to be our time. But the difference between imagining the future and being the future is what you do to get there. Only you can make you better.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Tuesday night edition of Today with DW. This is the sports edition with Snacks and Mr. Tom Greer. And we are going into this
and Body Armor Edge.
Yes, and Body Armor Edge. Yes.
I'm just drinking my regular mixed berry.
Me too. I like.
If
the
you like
berry.
mixed berry, then berry blitz is probably going to be your favorite. This is delicious.
Oh,
I like the mixed berry, and I like the black one.
yes.
The name escapes me, but our refrigerator is stocked full for all our podcasters here. Thank you again for Body Armor for stocking us up in the studio and keeping all our podcasters hydrated throughout their hours and hours of podcasting. Like I said before the commercial break, it is Today in Sports History. Today in Sports History is brought to you by the Shirt Factory in upstate New York, Glens Falls, and they have a great event coming up. I can't wait. Snacks and I have to talk off pod soon about this event to see if we should be there. I think Earplug podcast should be there, but it's the 2021 Winter Meltdown Spicy Food Day, Saturday, March 20th, starting at 10 a.m. Now the price is free, but there's going to be a lot of amazing vendors. So if you're familiar, and if you're not, let me tell you, they do a great, amazing food truck corral every Thursday starting in May this year, every Thursday from 4 to whenever. And the food's amazing. It's one of the biggest food truck corrals in upstate New York. And so they're taking their people from outside inside. Now they're going to be doing all the safety protocols and make sure the masks and safety seating and whatnot will be all taken care of. And we'll give you more details as we get them. And I don't think there's a list out yet of all the vendors that will be there, but when we get them, we will definitely get them to you.
And you've got all the artisans, the shops, the artisan shops that are inside. I mean,
they're going to be open as well.
In there. There's people that make the food, and then there's people that make different handmade stuff. So
on a side note, before we get into sports history, do we know any of our artist friends that are in the hot sauces? We'll talk off pod because that might be something we might want to do. But anyway, take it away, Mr. Tom Greer.
Okay, today in sports, surprisingly enough, because I think it's because we're kind of hitting the lull in the sports season. Like normally football just ended, basketball is kind of usually in the middle of the season, hockey's kind of in the middle of the season, and baseball hasn't started yet. So there isn't a lot of today in sports history, but I got some interesting ones. 1950 is kind of similar to this year. The writers failed to elect anybody into the Baseball Hall of Fame. This is one of the few years where we didn't have any new baseball inductees. There were a lot of future Hall of Famers on that ballot, but they just hadn't made it in. This one's actually kind of cool. 1953, Ted Williams safely crash lands his damaged Panther jet and is later awarded the Air Medal. He only suffered a sprained ankle and returned a day later to fly another 39 missions in total because obviously we know Ted Williams took a break from baseball for a little while to be a pilot in the Marines. It was the Marines, right? I think. Do you know that, Hank? Is that something you could help me with?
I'm not sure what Ted Williams. I think he was in the Marines, though.
Yeah, no, but that's absolutely amazing. 1970, Joe Frazier TKOs Jimmy Ellis in 5 rounds to win the boxing heavyweight title. 1972, Wilt Chamberlain of the LA Lakers becomes the first player in NBA history to reach the career 30,000 point mark during a 110-109 loss to the Phoenix Suns. And finally, this is actually a really crappy one. 2005, and from the 2004 to 2005 NHL season was canceled by Commissioner Gary Bettman because of a labor dispute. That was when they had the lockout and hockey didn't happen for a whole year.
And Ted Williams was a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah, no, that was
as a naval aviator.
One of the best hitters in baseball history. Also, flew planes for the Marine Corps, which is kind of crazy.
Cool. That's pretty cool. Getting back to the 1972, 110-109. Back in 1972, that's a damn high scoring game. I was thinking more of the score. They're going, wow. I mean, I saw that during the Jordan era, and we see it now. But back in 72, the fans must have been going nuts with a score like that.
I must have been freaking bet.
Nuts. Oh, man, that's too funny. Well, that is Today in Sports History brought to you by Mr. Tom Greer, sponsored by The Shirt Factory. Visit the shirtfactorygf.com for more information. And if you need to contact them about anything, they're very helpful and they'll get right back to you. And or you can contact me or Hank, pretty much. All right. So it's poll time, everyone.
Oh, boy, am I nervous.
Are you sure you don't want to go get your wife snacks?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure
she's probably watching right now. She'll probably be down there yelling at me.
If she's watching, tell her she can answer.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do this poll, and I want to make sure that nobody answers in the comments. Please don't answer unless we ask you to answer. But usually we try to not have anybody answer and kind of ruin it. So. It is National Tom Greer Day, the day before spring training opens up for the pitchers and catchers. and it's going to be an official. Do you know that I can officially make that a day? I can go to the site. I looked at that because I always do for Tuesday and Wednesday and Friday, or Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I do national holidays. Like today's National Pancake Day for IHOP, where they donate a short stack of pancakes from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and the donations go to a charity of their choosing. So, but you can register a national holiday. Anybody can do it. So I think I'm going to register National Tom Greer Day.
Okay.
It'll be a national holiday. But anyway, today's poll. Do you want to know what the poll is? Do you have an idea, Tom?
I have a feeling it's gonna have to do something with the Mets, but
yeah. The greatest New York Mets of all time.
Oh, okay.
List of the best ever New York Mets players from throughout the club's long story history. In 1962, the Mets were founded as one of the very first baseball expansion teams intended to fill the void left by the National League Brooklyn Dodgers and New York Giants from the city. The Mets played their first home games at New York's Polo Grounds in that year before taking up a more permanent residency at Shea Stadium. In 2009, the Mets moved from Shea to Citi Field. The team struggled its first few years and kind of is. Hopefully they won't this year, and consistently finished the last place, second to last place until they shocked the world by winning the 1969 World Series against the Baltimore Orioles, earning the team the Miracle Mets. The second championship did not come until 1986 when they famously took down the Boston Red Sox, in part to do an error by the Sox Bill Buckner in a crucial Game 6 matchup. This game was often cited when discussing the curse of the Bambino that haunted the Red Sox until the World Series win in 2004. A number of baseball superstars and Hall of Famers have played for the New York Mets over the years, including Roberto Alomar, Tom Seaver, Mike Piazza, Willie Mays, Ricky Henderson, and the ever-quotable Yogi Berra. So, whoops.
You just probably listed some of the names right there.
No, yes, but crap. Hold on. So what we're going to do with this is, yes, you probably know them, but you have to get the most popular point ones. So number 1's going to give you 10 points. Number 10's going to give you 1 point.
I know who number 1 is. I know who the best player in Mets history is. That's not it's not even close.
Okay. Well, go for it.
Tom Seaver, the franchise.
Yep. Tom Seavers. Yep. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So what do I just keep going? Keep listening.
No,
number 1.
Yeah, he is actually number 1. So you just got 10 points right off the bat. So
Tom Terrific, the franchise. He's literally one of the greatest pitchers in baseball history. Like it's Sandy Koufax, him, everybody. Like it lists all the great pitchers to ever pitch in baseball. Tom Seaver's in the conversation.
Hank, do you even want to try this, or do we want to get the wife?
Yeah, I want to play.
Okay.
I'm going to say Darryl Strawberry.
He's number 5.
Okay.
All right.
That's just off the top of my head. I still got more.
Doc Gooden. Dr. K. Doc Gooden.
Dr. K. Dr. K. Dr. K. Dr. K. Dr. K. Dr. K. Who'd you say it was?
Doc Gooden. Dwight Gooden.
Oh, Dwight Gooden. Yes.
What? Okay.
Number 11.
Number 11. Okay.
Sorry, Tom. I can get. Here we go. I knew it. Look at the look on his face.
That's garbage.
I knew it. All right. Come on, Hank. You got a chance.
Nolan Ryan.
No,
Ooh.
he wasn't even a Met long enough. If Nolan Ryan is on that list and Doc Gooden isn't, send whoever made this list to the Sun.
Oh, wow. He's not on the list.
Yeah, he can't be. He can't. He wasn't a Met long. He wasn't a Met long enough.
Doesn't matter. He was still Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so next, Mike Piazza.
Number 2.
There we go.
So you got 9. All right, Hank.
Oh God, no. God, I can't think of the guy's name.
There's some popular ones you should know.
I got another one. Right in the hopper.
One's a fruit, Hank.
I'm gonna say. I got to say DeGrom.
Who?
DeGrom.
Jacob DeGrom.
Jacob
the GOAT.
DeGrom.
Yes.
The GOAT.
Yep. He's number 7. So that
Big
gives you
Jake.
3 points.
Love Big Jake.
All right.
Who did I just have in my head? I literally just had somebody in my mind that Jerry Kuzman.
Jerry Kuzman. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, you just squeaked it in. Number 9.
Better be there.
So you got 2 points. All right, Hank. I gave you a hint. One's a fruit. I can't give you a hint again.
Well, I can't think of a Carlos Beltran.
That's not a fruit.
No.
Carlos Deltron. That is a.
Really? He's one of the best position players the Mets ever got.
Wow.
Yeah, he's not on it.
They whoever made this list is still not over 2006. That's what that is.
We're saying of all time.
But of all time, Carlos Beltran is one of the best position player acquisitions the Mets ever made. Like Carlos Beltran should be.
Hey,
there.
I'm not going to argue with you. You are the Met man. You are the Met man. All right, final round. Here we go.
Final round. Okay.
Are you
David
taking
Wright.
my hints? Come on, because Hank's not taking my hints.
David Wright. Well, I'm saying David Wright because he's got to be up there too. Best third baseman in the team's history.
Number 3.
Oh, captain, my captain.
So 7. All right, Hank. One more time. The man's a fruit.
Well, I don't know that one, but
yes, you do. It's a fruit. His last name's a fruit.
I can't figure it out. Gary Carter.
Ooh, hey, there you go. Number 6. Look at you. All right.
The kid.
All right. So we got 5, 6, 10.
Well, let's keep going.
You want to keep going? All right, we can keep going.
Keith Hernandez?
Yes. Number 4. Hank, are you Googling?
Nope. I'm just trying to think here. Tug McGraw, if I remember correctly.
Isn't he a country singer? You just squeaked it in, my friend. Number 10.
Was he really?
Yep. Number 10. All right. So we'll finish it up and we'll.
No, don't. Come on, we can keep going.
You got almost all the 10 already. I mean, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're missing 2 people out of the top 10.
2 people out of the top 10. Who am I missing out of the top 10 of Mets of all time? I can't. John Franco's not up there, is he? There's no way he's up there.
Nope, he's not there.
Yeah, he's not there.
Can I go for the win?
You can't go for the. Well, you can.
Oh, yes, I
go
can.
for the win. Okay, you can't go for the win. You're behind in points. But
So,
go ahead.
I just had to think about it. Daryl Strawberry.
Oh, goddamn! About time! Ding, ding, ding! He's a goddamn fruit.
You want to know why I remember that? Because
I kept telling you he's a
Dave
fruit.
Palmer has a video of where he pitches to Strawberry and Strawberry charges the mound.
I thought you said I thought Strawberry was the first one you said.
No.
Oh, okay.
So he was number 5. So
okay.
You still didn't have the win. You have one player left. One player, Tom. One player.
Cleon Jones?
That is wrong. I'll give it to you one more time.
No, wait. Reyes.
Oh, what do you got?
Jose Reyes.
Jose Reyes.
Nope. I got one more. I got one. Bud Harrelson.
What was it? Wow. All right.
Are you ready?
When you say it, it's going to really make me mad.
Okay.
Who's the one we forgot?
Okay. Number 1 was Tom Seaver.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got that. Number 2, Mike Piazza.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the one you forgot.
I said that.
No,
I said Piazza. I said Piazza.
Did you really?
Yeah, I
When?
definitely did. No, I definitely said Mike Piazza.
No,
and you
because there was
and you gave me the ding.
No,
you gave me the ding.
Yeah, you gave him the ding. He said it.
Oh,
He
maybe
said
I did.
Piazza, 'cause
Oh,
that-
you
I
know
was gonna
what?
say
I always
Piazza.
screw up the 4th round. You're right. Okay, so you got them all. Yeah, I screwed up the 4th round. Here's your 2 points. I got it. Okay. So number 2 is Mike Piazza. Number 3 is David Wright. Number 4 was Keith Hernandez. Number 5 was Dale Strawberry. Number 6 was Gary Carter. Number 7 was Jacob Grom. Number 8 was Eduardo Alfonso.
Edgardo Alfonso. We didn't get him.
Nope.
Oh.
Number 9 was Jerry Kuzman. Number 10 was Tug McGraw. Other honorable mentions, David Cohn. I think you mentioned him, didn't you? He was the number 11. Rusty Staub, Tommy McGee, Cleon Jones, Jerry Grote, Sid Fernandez, and Josie Orcosa. How do you say it? Jesse
Orozco.
Orozco. Okay. Carlos Beltran and Mookie Wilson, who lines up the end of the best of the Mets. So there you go. Hank, you did pretty good. I thought you were going to get 0. You actually did pretty good. You had 13. You could get some points in there.
Well, it's funny because I can't remember the exact year. I want to say it was like 95, 96. We were up in Montreal. We were playing a football game. We stayed at a hotel because we had the place we were supposed to stay wasn't available. We wound up staying at the Hilton, and they had the Mets were playing up there when they played the Expos.
Oh, nice.
In Montreal, and they were staying at the same hotel. And I was sitting there drinking with Louis Lopez, and I can't remember who the pitcher was.
That's awesome.
I have a card. I gave it to my wife. I got him to sign. I had to think real quick.
You're making Tom wet over there.
And had him sign it.
That's really awesome.
It was great. We had a great time. We went up and drank upstairs.
That's very awesome.
So I guess so since we didn't get Tom up here this past year, we'll get him up here. But I think Hank, we need to go down and do a Mets game live.
Oh yeah,
with Tom.
They're going to be opening soon. They're going to be opening up City Field.
And Mackenzie.
No, there you go. We'll get some good seats and just hang out for the weekend or whatever, make a weekend out of it and do something. I think that'd be fun. We'll try to I could do a live broadcast from the seats.
Could do that.
I could hotspot it with a Zoom. Hotspot it with a Zoom. How fun would that be? That would be awesome. That would be very cool. We'd be reporting right from the stands. That'd be awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this special baseball edition, even though we did kind of hint in some football in there, but it's okay, Hank. You survived. It's over. We don't have to talk about baseball until April 1st of 2022. So
I was just taking my pulse, make sure my blood pressure didn't go up.
Yeah. So, but yes. So Hank, you survived. So that's a good thing. Again, it's National Mr. Tom Greer Day. I'm going to officially put that in the books. I wonder how much that costs. I'll have to look.
If it costs a lot, don't bother.
Any sponsors out there that want to sponsor Mr. Tom Greer Day, email me at earplugpodcast.com and we'll make a Mr. Tom Greer in the national holiday right before opening training camp. But any last words, gentlemen, before we head out?
When's football start again?
LFGM.
Actually, that's what we need to talk about next week's show is this fan-controlled base or football.
I have the app. Fan Control Football. I had the app last year. I have it now. It's the wave of the future. We can
talk about that. All right, let's talk about that. Let's put that in the topics. And before I go, I want to thank our awesome sponsors. As always, Body Armor. Visit drinkbodyarmor.com for a location near you and check out their brand new drink, Body Armor Edge, their new energy drink. Check that out. Tom has given it 2 thumbs up, which is awesome. So, and also the Shirt Factory. Visit shirtfactorygf.com to see all their local shops and events. And lastly, but not least, Chase Sports Complex. Visit chasesportscomplex.com. We're going to be adding some new stuff to their pages. They got some new great volleyball courts and batting cages and hours and whatnot. All that information is right there. And we could probably podcast from there one of these days too.
Yep.
Who knows? But all right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And I will see you tomorrow.
This has been an Earplug podcast presentation. Found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.
I'll see you tomorrow.
This has been an Earplug podcast presentation. Found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.